we want to find the perimeter and area for the given triangle. But I think what's important to do first is draw a picture. So I'm going to draw a picture and I'm going to make this into a right triangle. And I'm going to label my sides. Now I can't just label them however I want. If you look here, NP is the biggest side. That means NP has to be the hypotenuse. So that's really important. And then M is going to be the corner where we have our right angle. Before I label our sides, I want to talk about our radicals here. We have to simplify them because we could do a factor tree with both 24 and 48 and it would give us a simplified version of each radical. So I'm going to take the square root of 24 first and I'm going to do this in orange. 24 I'm going to break down into 6 and 4. 6 is 3 and 2 and I'm going to put circles around those because they're prime numbers. 4 breaks down into 2 and 2. So now I'm looking for pairs, so I can take out a pair of 2's, and then I have a 3 and a 2 left over. So this turns into a 2 on the outside, and then you multiply the 3 times the 2 for the 6 on the inside. So both MN and PM are going to be labeled 2 root 6. And then MN, I'm going to do the same thing. So I want to take the square root of 48, and I want to break it down. I'm going to break this down into 24 times 2. Oops, 2 times 24. 2 is prime, and then I'm going to break down 24 the same way that I did with the orange one. So I'm going to say that that's 6 and 4. 6 is 3 and 2. 4 is 2 and 2. So in this one I actually have 2 pairs. I have a pair of 2's here and I have a pair of 2's here. So since I have 2 numbers, I'm going to take both of them to the outside and multiply them. 2 times 2 is 4, and then I have a lonely 3 left over. So that is this side, NP, of our triangle. All right, so now that I have everything organized and I have it all simplified, we can figure out the perimeter. So to find the perimeter, we just add up all 3 sides. So I'm going to do 2 root 6 plus 2 root 6 plus 4 root 3. Now I can only add radicals. I can add the outside numbers of each radical, so the coefficients, if the radicals are identical. So these 2 that are in orange, they both have a square root 6, so I can add their outside numbers together. So if I added 2 plus 2, that gives me 4. So I'd have 4 square root 6. And then the 4 root 3 just kind of tags along because we can't add that together. Okay, now for the area, the reason it's important to know that this is a right triangle is because for our area, we have to use the formula 1/2 base times height. Now, in order for us to be able to use the 2 sides of the triangle as our base and our height, they have to be the legs of a right triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 root 6 here at the bottom as my base, and then the 2 root 6 on the side is my height. So I'm going to plug this in, and I would have 1/2 times 2 root 6 times 2 root 6, which is 1/2, and then I can multiply. This 2 and this 2 give me a 4. And then the square root of 6 times the square root of 6 is the square root of 36, which is just 6. So really what I'm doing here is I'm multiplying 4 times 6, which is 24. And then half of 24 is just plain 12.